there's an altcoin that I think will be the king of all altcoins. People are not prepared for this. I am not prepared for this. If I were to ask you, what are the qualities of an altcoin that you would want to buy for the long term? Not just some flash in the pants, Trump coin, not trying to say anything against the leader of the Holy Global Empire for now. I'm not trying to say anything against that. I'm just saying that that's sort of like a really quick musical chairs sort of game. I get it. The Safe Moons of the worlds, the Pepes of the worlds, you get in, get out, get in, get out. No harm, except to the people who lose all their money because they don't have the coin. The Haktuas of the world, all that sort of thing. I get it. But if there was an altcoin that you wanted to hold, there were characteristics for an altcoin you wanted to hold, a meme coin that you wanted to hold, not a meme coin, sorry, an altcoin. What would one or two of those characteristics be?
Honestly, it would basically have to be a clone of Cardano. So strong fundamentals. It needs no hype or very little. The people who are involved in it should have strong moral character and demonstrate that by them not being zombies. Zombies being those the NGUs, the number grow up crowd. I know you're a number grow up guy when it comes to Bitcoin, but that's not the primary motivation. And it should be, I don't know, like cross-platform, like not limited, not siloed, something that everybody can use.
Well, for someone who's been in the altcoin game and you've bought and sold a few of them, why isn't it that you don't jump into a bunch of the ones that are popular? Why don't you get into them?
Well, I mean, some of them, Solana, Doge, because my boy Elon.
But you don't chase some of these coins.
No, I don't. I'm not a coin chaser. I don't chase. Okay, I'm a one coin guy. All right, I'm a monogamous coin holder. Look, I said my vows to Cardano, and it's still death do us part. And people go, "Oh, Charles is a scammer, and Cardano is a zombie." Don't care. All right. My wife gets fat. Don't care. All right. I lose sexual interest in her. Don't care. Okay. She's old, and I can get a younger model. Don't care. I'm sticking with what I got. I'm a one coin guy. That's who I am.
That's right. Well, when people look for these altcoins, because they've been trained in this mentality that the whole system is a pump and dump, what they want to do is get in quick and get out.
Right.
So they're looking for the game of musical chairs to be sort of drawn out a bit. So they want lockdown periods, they want fair launches and all kinds of different things in order to make sure that they can get in and sell it to the next greater fool. That's what they want.
Right.
What if I told you they can get all that in a coin that has all those features, but better and long-term oriented? So imagine all the characteristics that you want from a viral coin, a meme coin, but with all the staying power, as you said, of a Cardano, of a Bitcoin, of an Ethereum, of a Solana. Well, that's what's coming down the pike with the Midnight Token. Midnight Token launches real soon. They said July, but it's Cardano, so let's give it a month or two.
I thought you were going to say a year or two.
So trying to be gracious. Hey, good things take time. I totally understand that. But let's say it's going to drop soon. This token is going to be the most fair launch you've ever seen. Why? There is no VC-backed anything behind it. Not a dollar of VC money is going behind it. And it will be a glacier drop that is going to hit, what was it? Not just the Cardano holders of the token. And they will be getting 50% of the tokens that are going to be distributed. Makes sense. Pay the people who've been supporting you this entire time. Totally understand that. But there are also going to be an airdrop to Bitcoin, Ethereum holders, Solana, AVAX, BNB. I might be missing one or two in there, but some of the big dogs. That means yes, you are likely to get a bunch of midnight tokens.
Hey,
Access to midnight tokens.
didn't Charles talk about this? Do you have the clip? Do you want to maybe play a clip from Charles? Or one of the shorts? I think if you can pull up a short from our YouTube Shorts, Charles talks about this, and I thought it was interesting. It might be good to hear it from his voice. Just an idea. We have an interview with Charles Hoskinson. We went to Consensus 2025, and we stalked that guy like we were beast, and he was look, he was our prey, and we caught him. It took everything we had. It took the law of attraction, the secret, to get this guy, but we got him. All right, so let's take a look at that.
The tip of the iceberg.
Well, this is the tip of the iceberg. Every week there's going to be a partnership announcement. Every week there's going to be technical announcements. There's community announcements. We are taking meetings with people you wouldn't even believe. The thing about Midnight is its time has come. It's the age of cooperative economics. It's the age of rational privacy. And it's the age to get everybody talking to each other again. You know, we've lived for so long in this adversarial landscape where people are just beating the crap out of each other and one token's attacking another token. Nobody wants that anymore. Let's just all love each other again, because nobody in this industry is an enemy if you really think about it. We're all using public keys. We're all crypto people. The enemies are the big banks. The enemies are the large financial institutions. The enemies are the governments that want to take your liberty away from you and rob your freedom of association, commerce, and expression. And why we started Midnight and why we distributed Midnight the way we did is we wanted to have an ecosystem that brought everybody together. We wanted to have an ecosystem where everybody had a say. We had all these VCs come to us in the early days. They said, "Oh, we're so excited about Midnight. When's the ICO? How do we get some tokens?" I said, "You don't." And they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Everybody has the same participation. It's an airdrop. Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and XRP and Avalanche and Brave and BNB and so forth." And they're like, but how does that work? It's like, we need to get our insider distribution. That's how tokenomics work. And I was like, that's how your tokenomics work, but that's not how cooperation works. Everybody's got to work together. So it's been very easy, surprisingly so, to make a lot of partnerships. What's really fun is what we call Operation Broken Windows. There's a lot of people that should have been in the Cardano orbit. They should have been working with Cardano. And for whatever reason, whoever's responsible, doesn't matter. It didn't get done. So we got Brave support just announced the other day. There's a lot more stuff like that. Wallets, custodians, infrastructure, stable coins. They're going to come not only to Midnight, but Midnight is a Cardano-native token. So that means it comes to Cardano at the same time. So Midnight's really uplifting the Cardano ecosystem. It's going to provide more revenue streams for stake pool operators, ton more transaction volume for the Cardano ledger, and hopefully have a rising tide with TVL. So overall, I'm just so excited, pumped, and fired up. I haven't launched something since 2017, so it's good to do something a little new and interesting.
Sure.
The other thing is the technology cooperation is phenomenal. We got tech from Polkadot, we got tech from Zcash, we got tech from Aptos, obviously all the Cardano tech, and some brand new tech that has never existed before that we brought together and put it together. So Midnight really is a Gestalt chain that comes from many different places for many different people. And that's what makes it so easy to cooperate, because everybody can see part of themselves inside that technology.
Well, I'll say it.
So that's what's so fantastic about it. They're using all the things that they learned from Cardano project, the good, the bad, and the ugly, in order to create a super coin. Now, when's the last time you heard of an altcoin being dropped to people from supposedly the enemy camp?
Yeah,
have you
okay.
heard that?
That was like one of the best things I heard him say at Consensus 2025, that the XRPs, the all the others people, the Solanas, they're all getting it. Now, I saw on X some people, some Cardanians were kind of upset about this. They're like, give it to the Cardano people, give it to the people who use the Cardano apps. But I think it's a genius move, and it's something I always wanted Charles and Cardano to do, is to include the wider audience. This whole being adversary to everybody else is not a way to move forward. Building bridges is the way to move forward. And so I think this is genius. It's fantastic. I don't know how long it took for them to do this, but it must be something they've been working on for quite a while. It's not just an idea that came about recently, a few months ago. And I'm very proud of Charles and the whole team there for what they did relative to making the coin available to everyone else.
Well, when you see one of these drops that happens within one of the coin ecosystems, the idea is that those who were vigilant about it are paying attention to it. The insiders, the early adopters, or what have you, they get in, they pump up this stuff. It goes up in percentage points. People make YouTube videos and shorts all about it, and then other people say, "Hey, maybe I'm early enough. Let me get in. I didn't get in on the 10,000% increase, but maybe I can get in on the 5,000% increase." And then next person says, "Maybe I can get in on 100% increase," and the other one says, "Maybe I can get 20%." But they're dumping on their own people.
Right.
They're just cannibalizing their own people to the point that if that happens again and again and again and again, it's that, the classic example we're all taught. If you take 10 people, you have a room of 10 people or 100 people, let's say, and you all flip a coin, and whoever gets head gets 50% of the other person's money, and whoever gets tails loses that money. As you keep flipping, the Pareto distribution makes it so that 20% of the people will get all of 90% of the money, 80% of the money.
I don't think most people know this, Tom. It's not something we've all been taught.
The Pareto principle?
I don't even know how to spell Pareto.
Pareto, Pareto. The idea here is that in any trading system at all, whether you're talking about markets, whether you're talking about trees inside of an ecosystem, inside of forests competing for sunlight and water and resources, if you're talking about selling records at a store, anything, whenever you have a competition, a trading competition where there's an exchange happening, you have 20% of the population will have 80% of the resources. Eventually, that distribution will always occur. So even if everyone starts equal, eventually you have this curve where everything accumulates to the top 20%. And then within that top 20%, the Pareto distribution happens again, so that 80% of those 20% of people are at the bottom, and 20% of those people at the top, all the way till you get to Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, where they get everything. And so that generally happens within these meme coin drops, altcoin drops, all these sort of airdrops, where you have the people who have the knowledge and already have a head start because they can flip the coin more often. They then, because you're not even starting off equal, all the value then accrues to them. So just a technique to siphon money from the people on the low end to the people on the high end. We saw this. CoffeeZilla did a whole expose on this. We've been talking about this a lot, but he did a whole expose on this on the Trump coin. Right? And also on I forget what was that Argentinian project with Malay?
Libra?
Was it Libra? I forget what the whole hubbub was about, but it's this idea that the insiders, they want to cash in on the stuff and siphon money from the poor to the rich. So this is what he was saying. Charles was saying in the video that the VC money was like, "Hey, we want to get in on this game. We love your token. We think it'll be a great bait for a great scam. Let's go ahead and do that." They don't see it that way. They don't see it as scam. They see it as, providing liquidity or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, they want the value to accrue to them. And Charles said no.
Has incurred the sentence of excommunication.
And he could have said, let's do it all just for the Cardano network, because we're adding a feature here to blockchain in general that allows for privacy on the blockchain. We didn't have that before. What we had was that if you wanted privacy, you used the blockchain for all your public stuff, and privacy you had to keep locally. So you have to do all the old school legacy ways of keeping stuff private. And what does that mean? That means that entire privacy is owned by some centralized entity. Whereas Midnight allows you to be the one who controls that information, or whoever created the platform using the Midnight process. Now, yeah, there are other privacy coins out there, other privacy techniques. There are. But what's great about Midnight is that by default, out of the box, out of the bag, it's made to integrate with all these different systems. That means people from BNB, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BAT, all that can interact with the Midnight network and thus the Cardano network without ever touching Cardano, without ever touching Midnight directly, even though that's what's being used underneath the hood. And so all that value, the 50% of the drop that's going out to those other people, once they claim it, once they're using it, that value accrues, that liquidity, that transaction volume is happening through the Cardano network and can raise the Cardano network, even if they don't necessarily know that that's the case.
So does this mean, what's going to go up more, Cardano or Midnight?
So here's the thing. So Midnight has its own tokenomics, right? So imagine you have $1,000 worth of Cardano. The idea here, and it's not, we don't know yet because it's all supply and demand, but the estimation is that if you have $1,000 worth of Cardano, you'll probably wake up with about $800 worth of midnight inside of your wallet. And if you're on one of the other chains, probably something like $400 worth for every $1,000 that you have. That means overnight, for those who claim it, they have almost double their bag.
Well,
now, in order to prevent dilution, in order to prevent just massive sell-off, everyone just dumping, they call this a glacier airdrop, because one, you don't get it right within your wallet. You have to claim it from the Midnight website. And then, even then, there is a rollout schedule for how this is going to be distributed. So there's a whole Midnight tokenomics. If you go to the Glacier drop, once this is active, you'll be able to go ahead and request your Midnight tokens. So this is what often people want within these altcoin spaces. We saw this with SafeMoon and all that. What you want is the ability to, you don't want everyone just dumping this coin that they just got. You want them to claim it, have a period where they have to hold it, and then slowly they're able to sell it off. Give people enough time in order to understand, hey, there's a value to this token, and that there's a value in holding it. So as it goes up, as this new feature of privacy gets implemented within different Cardano dApps and dApps abroad, you'll see that the need for this token, the idea is that it would increase, and then people are less inclined to sell the token as the token goes up in value, right? And this is happening right smack dab in the middle of altcoin season. So just to recap, we have fair distribution right from the get-go. So it's not all VC back, it's 80% inside the insiders, and they're going to just wait for an unlock in order to dump on everybody. That's not the case. You're the whale here. You're the one holding the token. So it's fair distribution. 2, it's distributed to people even outside of the Cardano ecosystem. So they have an incentive now to pay attention to Cardano. So that can make your Cardano token also go up in value, as well as the Midnight token. And then there's the actual utility of it, a new type of utility, a new type of security, new type of privacy that can unlock literally a whole new ecosystem of dApps. Because when you are using any of these blockchain systems right now, all your information is public. Imagine being able to use it and it's private. They give the example in, Charles gives the example at one point. He says, imagine being able to to prove that you're 18 in order to get into a club, but without having to tell the bouncer your age. I love that. There's one example that the CEO of Midnight, the foundation that handles the Midnight token, I forget his name, Eric something, I think it is. Forgive me. Imagine you have a Where's Waldo book where you have to find Waldo, and you need to prove to somebody else that you know where Waldo is, but you don't want to tell them on the page where Waldo is, right? You don't want to give them access to the whole thing so that they already know all the context and information. You just want to build, but you want to be able to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt that you know where Waldo is. Mm-hmm. So imagine what happens is that you have this infinite sheet of paper, and you poke a hole in that paper, and you put that hole in the paper over Waldo, and you show the person, here, look, I have found Waldo. So they can see, yeah, you did find him. Mm-hmm. But they can't tell the whole environment of Waldo. They could only see that you do know where Waldo is, and you move that paper away, and now they have to find, they don't know where Waldo is. That's the idea behind this. You can prove that something is true without giving all the information, all the context, which right now, you send a transaction to anyone or anyone knows your address, they know all the transactions you made on that account. Crazy. How are you going to do payroll that way?
Right.
How are you going to buy weed that way? You can't do it.
There's whole kind of voting, government systems, Medicare, medical systems, everything that needs privacy, and they can't just put their stuff on the blockchain because privacy is an integral part. So when you're talking about new new projects, new apps that are going to be created. You're talking about that type of stuff?
Everything from voting systems, from financial systems, from educational records to smart contracts, some arrangement you have within your own family, business being able to pay out their employees, anything where our current system uses privacy in order to get stuff done, which is the entire corporate space. All businesses can now use it. So now we're seeing all kinds of different partnerships that are happening with the Midnight token. So what you're seeing is partnerships for credit cards. You're seeing partnerships with different dApps, partnerships with crypto exchanges. There's all kinds of things that are being announced right now, because these partnerships are happening behind the scenes. One of my favorite ones is the that we heard Charles talk about at Consensus 2025, which is the arrangement with Brave, the Brave browser, one of the most popular browsers out there, where they needed a privacy system in order to work with what they were doing, and they're going to be using a Midnight protocol in order to do that. Now, this is all, let me just end by saying here that this is all within the idea that Cardano is still a top 10 token. Top 10. Number 8 to be specific.
Not only that, didn't the government just put out a report that it was part of the top 3, the only 3 likely mature blockchains? Correct.
But let's say you didn't want to worry about that policy stuff, and you don't know that Charles is like busy behind the scenes, and all the people are working with different congressmen in order to get stuff done, and you don't care about bills and all that sort of thing. Fine. Just look at the fact that you can say whatever you want about Cardano. Cardano is still top 10. Right up there with the big dogs. Right up there with Sui and Solana and all your darlings, Ethereum and Bitcoin. Cardano is still there and has been there forever. So if you don't know anything about Cardano, something's been going on with Cardano that despite that whatever you think it is, it's still top 10. Now we're going to add the ability to put in billions and billions and billions of dollars of transaction volume through the Midnight token into the Cardano network. What that does for the price of Midnight or Cardano, who's to say? Do you want to not be holding the coin? That's the life you want to live? You want to not be holding the coin? Even though you are going to be allocated a certain amount, you want to not hold it? You'd be like, I'm going to leave money on the table. Get out of here. Don't be ridiculous.
So which ones do you think, I mean, you don't know, but which one do you think will go up more, Cardano or Midnight, at least in the short term?
In the short term, I think Cardano goes up.
So wouldn't it be smart before the airdrop, or is the airdrop already decided? Can I buy?
Already decided.
Oh, so I can't go out and buy 10 grand now of
correct. That's right.
Interesting. All right, I got one last thing to say about, well, actually 2 things. One thing I want to ask. One thing I'm worried about when it comes to Midnight, just so that this is not just a jerk fest for Cardano. I was going to say circle jerk, but there's just 2 of us, so it's more of like a tug of war. I don't know. I don't want to visualize
Circle's
that.
more of a stable coin.
Okay, right.
Stable coin thing.
The hype for Midnight. There's no hype for Cardano, but there is some type of hype going on for Midnight. I mean, as evidenced here in this stream. So I am worried that, are we likely to be overpromise, underdeliver, expectations high, but doesn't work out. The utility of the coin, it providing privacy, doesn't exactly work the way we thought. Maybe it takes a lot longer. Like, what's the danger there when it comes to hype and Midnight?
Right. So I've never been a fan of just trading off hype. This is why SafeMoon was never going to succeed. If the idea, and we saw this with Luna, we saw this with all kinds of different things, if hype is or price appreciation, that's what the hype is, right? Mm-hmm. The hype is about the price appreciation of it. If that is the selling point of the token, then it must necessarily fail. Because there's diminishing returns as the price goes up, because as you get more people in, just like when we talk about for Bitcoin, if there's a bunch of shorts that have to get liquidated, the longs eventually are going to want to monetize their longs.
Right.
So they have an incentive to sell. As the price goes up, there's an incentive for more and more and more longs to sell. So you never want hype to be the selling proposition for your asset. Cardano has never had to worry about that. No projects on the Cardano platform has ever had to worry, but their hype exceeded their ability to do anything.
It's anti-hype.
But insofar as there is hype, because I've never seen Charles so hyped about something, the idea is that is the hype about the price appreciation or is the hype about the utility? Well, you've not heard anyone talk about the price appreciation, really. That's not what's being discussed. It's how it's going to be distributed and what kind of use you would have with it. So the idea here is that they've already entered into partnerships with other platforms. This is not something that somebody just spun up and go, hey, now let's try to figure it out. Let's put on a couple of layers and figure it out at the airport. That's not what this is. They've already done the work in the back end in order to make arrangements with institution after institution, project after project, credit card, all kinds of stuff in order to get the stuff done to have proof of concept ready day one. So that means there's a bunch of people who have already been sitting around one privacy layer within their application, and they've already created a whole programming language, a whole tooling kit in order to get that stuff done already with proof of concepts out into the wild. Well, you toss AI into the mix on top of that, where people can get their projects up and running, to get these things retrofitted, get these features in. That's billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars is waiting to be distributed, productivity waiting to be created. Is the hype equal to that? Shit. No, we're not. Not anywhere close. The hype that we have right now for Midnight is not even close. We're not even hearing about Midnight token on CNBC. Once I hear Jim Cramer start talking about it, then I'm going to be like, hey, we ain't there. We ain't there. Plenty of upside potential. So the reason I was bringing up the idea that Cardano's top 10 right now, you go, are you prepared for waking up one day and Cardano's top 3? Are you prepared for that? Where this token adds a feature, a utility to all other chains? All other chains. The promise of Polkadot was that, hey, we're going to have these chains that are already made, these parachains directly within our ecosystem. But the idea wasn't that you can connect with all the other ones, that you have to create it within the network. Monero is a privacy token. And from what I understand, privacy token, but it doesn't work with all these other networks. The token itself is the solution. But Midnight, you don't even burn Midnight. The holding of the Midnight generates dust, that's what's being burnt in order to generate the transactions on the network. So you're not even burning the Midnight token. It's holding the token allows you to do the privacy thing. So what happens with all these platforms go, hey, I even want to just experiment to know if I can convert my $5 billion idea into something that works with this network. They're going to have to buy a bunch of these tokens anyway. So I was saying 25 cents to 80 cents on the low end for Midnight. We could be looking at a future where we're, I don't know, what's SWI at now? SWI is at
getting some excitement
$4 a token.
Got some excitement and love in the chat.
What happens, Peter, if people are able to imagine you're a whale, not even a whale. Let's say you're sitting around and you have $10 million worth, and you got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, you got Solana, you got BNB. You haven't even touched Cardano. You're like, oh, I got this. And then this thing drops. And now, in addition to your 10 million, now you have $8 million worth of Night. And then you go, well, that Night's going to just drop to nothing. And then you see Night climbing up from 25 cents up higher. And then you get to the point where the value of your Night token is worth more than your entire bag, your other bag. What do you do then? What do you say about Cardano then? Hey, I was able to sell $8 million worth of it. I got $8 million. I sold $4 million. I sold $6 million just to have some on the table. And it absorbed the price and the token still used. I thought there was going to be a meme thing. Oh, it isn't. So you're going to have millionaires and billionaires. Midnight. What happens to our network? Now, you might say, Tom, wasn't Charles bashing the Holy Global Empire you love so much?
Yeah.
I don't love the Holy Global Empire. I respect it. And so the Charles Hoskinson, he's looking to change it from within. From within. He wants the systems to change from within, which is what I've always advocated. I don't want to play fascism. I'll play a couple of hands of fascism. That's all that's there. But they're coming in with something else. So they understand that the people who are against this sort of idea, against reforming our system in order to make it better.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
They know that the people who are against the Holy Global Empire are the ones who are going to fail.
Okay. On the midnight privacy, I feel like it would have solved or helped solve the T problem. Have you heard about the T app? The leak that happened? I shared it with you on Twitter, on X. T. Do you know about the T app?
No.
So it's where it's for Americans. I don't know if it's for the rest of the world, but it's for America. And women can go onto the T app and they can spill the tea on guys they've dated or want to date. And then other women can go and find out, hey, the guy I'm dating, did anybody snitch on him? You know, is this guy good? Is he abusive? Whatever it is. It's T, right? T app.
Yikes.
In order to get on this app, you have to give your driver's license ID to verify you. Well, there is a
hack.
Not a hack, Tom. Whoever created this app, I'm going based off tweets. I don't know if you want to look it up, but apparently whoever created this stored the driver's license unencrypted on a public Firebase thing. I don't know what it's called.
No way.
I send it to you on. If you check your DMs, I send it to you on your I Love Tom Hartman.
Oh. That's crazy.
So, from what I understand, not everybody's ID got leaked, but there's like 15,000 or something like that IDs that got leaked. I can send you the tweet if you're looking for it.
Yeah, send it over.
All right, give me a second. Or just pull up Perplexity. Just search up Perplexity, and just use AI. Just ask TEA app what happened recently regarding that, and I'll get you the tweet.
Well, I saw it on Twitter. So on Twitter they're talking about it.
All right, cool. Right, let me show. Okay, I'll send you this tweet. How do I share this? Send it to
crazy. The T app. This reminds me of the Ashley Madison.
Yes.
Remember that website, the dating website?
People brought that up too in this context. I shared with you the tweet.
Because I was in the Ashley Madison database for research, for science.
For science.
Where'd you send it? Which one?
Sacred Prophet.
All right, I'll see it here. Oh, there it is. Jesus. Oh my. There is.
Can I pull up your screen? Or
yeah, IF'd up, and there is IF'd up, and I built an app and accidentally leaked the driver's licenses of thousands of women on the internet. Wow.
So click on the image.
Wow.
So down there at the bottom.
The T app stores everyone's photo and ID unencrypted in a public Firebase storage bucket. Was this vibe coded? Even worse than this, the images have locations in the metadata, and people are making maps of the users. The lawsuit's going to be insane. Oh my God.
Claude, check my code for any security vulnerabilities.
Don't miss anything. Crazy. Oh my God, not just driver's license, any piece of ID they use, DOD cards, nurse IDs, passports. The lawyers are going to eat these people alive. Oh God, crazy. I'm assuming a class action lawsuit would follow. Brutal. You can dox me to the other girls. You can dox me to the other girls on a new app called T. It's got a secure user base, right? It's got a secure user base, right? Brutal.
Yeah, okay, brutal. So when I think about Midnight, I think Midnight solves this, right? Or doesn't it?
Yeah, this is exactly it. So you're able to build on the trustless environment of the blockchain, but still have, you could just release just the information that's necessary. It's exactly this sort of thing. Perfect example. So, I mean, what's great is that, I'm looking forward to the apps where the only person you want to have the information is you. It's not even someone else created a thing. Like, we're going to have utilities that allow it so that you can interact with the blockchain and only you have the information, in the same way that you only have your private keys, but your activities are private. And the onboarding that's going to be possible for people within the network. I mean, can you imagine making the pitch to someone and you go, look, you can use crypto in order to pay for things. Lots of people do it. And they go, okay, I'd like to do that. I want to transfer $10 million in order to do that. Wait, what happens when I make a transaction? Oh, everybody sees all your transactions. They know everything that you do. They know everything. Spirals out to everything. They can trace it down. Doesn't matter how long it's around. People go, no. No, thank you. If they go, okay, well, if you pass it through Cardano, either you can hold the Cardano token or pass it through the Cardano network. Now no one, through the Midnight protocol, no one's going to be able to know what your transactions are. But you'll still be able to do fast transaction speeds. In fact, even faster. Oh, and by the way, you can stake your coins on Cardano and earn a yield, 3% yield. So it's faster to transfer, stake, 3% yield.
You're not locked in with your stake either, right?
Liquid stake in, you could transfer immediately. You can use it immediately. And but what about the reliability of the network? It's never gone down. What? It's never gone down, never turned off, never been restarted, never been hacked. Okay, but what about that one time? Never. It's never happened.
And they've tried.
Oh, and this other token that's going to be securitized in this, that allows for this privacy, is made by the people who learned how to do all that. This is the second time they're going about it. And the goal of this one is to make it private. And it all works within the same network. Money please? Can I have Cardano and Midnight token? Are you kidding me? Who's going to want to use an app that's not privacy backed? Just fast forward 6 months from now. Why would you ever want to use a dApp that doesn't have this privacy layer? You'd be like, well, at least just use, okay, look, whatever you think about Cardano, just use the Midnight token in order to securitize your app. People are going to be like, where are you storing your information? Airtables. What? Can you please use this? Just use it.
I don't understand it completely, but wasn't there something, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely off. Wasn't there something where you could still use your own token, whatever XRP, Solana, Ethereum, it can go through Midnight and come out the other end, it could still be your own thing, and you never really have to interact with Midnight?
That's right. That's Babel fees. You're able to pay in whatever token the Midnight network allows. So the user who's using the platform never has to even know that Midnight or Cardano network is even involved whatsoever. But that volume still is interacting because the transaction fees are paid for automatically in this way. So the validators and different entities within the network can still make they'll be able to make money off of the fees, because this is what's necessary for the decentralization of the network, right? The whole idea is that they can make money doing this. But now they have two avenues for making money: Cardano token plus the Midnight token and all the transactions that are secured because of the privacy layer. Mm-hmm. So it increases the amount of money that validators can use on the blockchain. Well, then wouldn't you want to, if you were in that space and you're like, hey, I want to spin up a node and I want to be one of the validators making money off the transactions, it makes it more of a no-brainer to do it because it costs less than the other networks, and the other networks are still participating within it to whatever degree, even if you think it's 1%. The Cardano network is still top 10 right now, sans that 1%. That's without, in French, folks. Without Midnight token, Cardano was top 10. Without it, it's top 8. You don't need Midnight token for Cardano to order to be profitable. But it will become even more so. Oh my God, can we live in a future where Cardano dethrones Bitcoin? No, it won't. I just, look,
Max Kaiser's ears just went.
I'll be fine with number 2. Let's just get to number 2. Let's just get to number 2. And then we're coming for you, Bitcoin. But for right now, number 2. Are you ready, Peter, for Cardano to go from whatever, 70 cents or whatever it is right now to $15? Are you ready for that?
Bruh. OG Cardano here. I've been with Cardano. You told me about Cardano. How long has it been? I mean, the same time I got into Bitcoin when it was at 8,000. I think I got into Cardano around the same time. So it's been years. I have more Cardano than anything else. I'm very excited about Bitcoin, love the crypto industry, but Cardano is my baby. And yeah, I got enough Cardano. I got some Cardano. Wait, no, I don't have any Cardano. It was a boating accident and it went into the ocean. I don't have any. Right. I don't have any
Well,
Cardano.
The last cycle, Cardano got to $3. And we started off that cycle at 9 cents. Now we're starting off 10 times higher at 82. What do we get to, folks? What do we get to? I can't wait for the look on people's faces when they go, well, I didn't buy any of it. I just sold all my Midnight tokens immediately. I don't want that. Zombie chain. I don't even know what Midnight does. Ooh. Have fun staying poor, people. Because when
this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
Okay, but it's kind of crazier than that. If Midnight delivers what it says on the tin, it'll be like Claude Code and the other CLIs, the other AIs out there. You're like,
correct.
No, I'm not going to use the other stuff. This gives me all the utility and price number go up. So if it does, like everybody's going to swarm potentially to Midnight.
That's right.
Because it's useful as well as exciting and number go up. So we could see, it's not just like another coin popping up and then the whole market kind of equalizes around that. It might be the sucking event where people rush, they realize the value of it and rush towards it, and then the other coins go down while this goes up.
Well, why did Solana explode so high? Is because it was focused on transactions per second and ease of spinning up. Like Ethereum, they had the whole EVM network, the whole EVM model that allows people to use Solidity in order to generate new tokens. So we had a bunch of new tokens that were being created on Ethereum because you couldn't build them on Bitcoin. But then they were able to be built faster and cheaper on Solana. Just that made Solana completely outperform Ethereum on a feature set that already existed. So we got the pumped out funds this cycle, where even Trump's able to put out a token. Like you can just go and click, and every teenager can go and click and make a new token. So they created that. So that happened, and that's a feature that already exists. Now imagine it's a new feature, and it's not competing with the other networks because it's a new feature. Solana, Ethereum, Sui, XRP, they're not suggesting that they have anything like this. So if you're sitting there and you're like, I got to build an app, and you're okay, I'm going to build it on the Solana. I'm going to build it on Ethereum, whatever. Go ahead, build it. But when it comes to the part where I would normally go and use some public service and put all that liability on me, I got to figure out how to store that information and securitize it and encrypt it and all that. I got to do that. Like these people, the T people are going to get lawsuits. Like this is Fire Festival level of like fucked up. Like I got to do that. And they go, well, let me ask AI, is there another system I can use in order to do it? The only system that exists is Midnight. Excuse me, what? Yeah, Midnight. Whole program language. Other people are already using it. It'll be able to encrypt the information that you need in a blockchain way. Let's go ahead and add that in. It's sort of like the login. You can enter your email or your password, or you can one-click sign in with Google. I'll just go ahead and sign in with Google.
Do you think that it'll be easy to copy or recreate Midnight at least that technology for the other chains? I mean, can't they just osmosis?
Sure, but that's like all these chains are all, if I'm not mistaken, they're all open source. You could always go and spin up your thing. The question is, do you have the network adoption? So Midnight is launching already with all these people already in. This is a $1 million pixel level.
No, but I mean, can Solana or Ethereum, can't they just ingest?
No, so the Midnight token is taking advantage of the structure of the Cardano platform. The Midnight token is not another blockchain completely separate from Cardano. It's a Cardano-native token, so it's adopting all of the feature set of Cardano. So the idea of liquid staking, the idea of fast finality, the idea of determinism within transactions, the ability to spin up Hydra for concurrency. There's all kinds of different feature set that exist within the Cardano network that in and of itself don't exist on other networks. Right? Like Bitcoin doesn't have a programmability. I believe Ethereum doesn't have liquid staking. Solana doesn't have the scalability, the Hydra scalability that they have on Cardano. They don't have it. So Midnight adopts all these different things and a number of other stuff. So if to go spin it up is the idea of cloning Cardano network and cloning Midnight in order to run your thing, but it's not compatible with their existing systems. Plus, why would you do that? Because it's non-exclusionary. You can just go ahead and use that system and still use your Ethereum. Like you're not prevented from doing it. So why would you try to learn a whole new thing and get new people adopted into the? No, it doesn't make any sense. They'll be first to market for this sort of thing. So there is nothing I've seen about this that's not like a complete hell yeah. It's going to be insane. I just imagine. I was saying, okay, let's say you have $10 million and you get $8 million worth of Midnight. But let's say I'm wrong. Let's say it's completely lower. Let's say it is $5,000 you're getting. Fine, that's $5,000 you didn't have yesterday. You'd be like, let me go take a look at this. Let me go take a look at this thing. It's moving up. I think I'll just hold on to it for a little bit. Let's just hold on. So very excited, Peter. Like I told you, I'm more excited by the Midnight token on the Cardano network than I am even about the Bitcoin leverage plays. But if you want access to any of this, the signals, the trend signals, the extra information, the things we're going to be building using these technologies, you want to be part of the wild ride that is Sacred Profit, you got to go to sacredprofit.com, sign up for free, gratuit. Make sure you sign up as an affiliate so that you can get access. You get the indicators if you want to trade yourself. You get trade signals, and we're going to be putting all kinds of extra features so you can get exactly what's inside of the mind of the Lord of Liquidity through your one and only Sacred Profit.